So, Yasna and Claudia, others will join. Thank you for joining today's personal mastery workshop, and I'll be looking forward to this. I certainly am, and really wanted to reflect with purpose on the year of 2023, and we're starting with from intention in 2024. I think it's important to have a sense of intention to what we do, because otherwise it becomes a bit mindless, whatever we do. And even if there are certain things that we need to do, by having some more intention, then I think we can get more out of what we do. And I think that leads to better outcomes. So, just by way of introduction, as you know me anyway, I think some of you know me. So my name is Jung. I am a coach who coaches executives and leaders. I help them to essentially regain control and find a sense of purpose in what they do. And what I use is my martial arts practice to help to apply it with the clients, the people I work with. So here's a collage of some facets of me. You'll see a picture here, Claudia. There's a picture of you there with me on the top left. We're outside the church. Yasna, if you didn't know, Claudio is our pastor at the church I go to. I am the chairman of the church and also an elder as well. And then I also am a speaker. On the towards the right, top right, you'll see pictures of me. I'm online with this wonderful lady called Lisa Nichols. She's a US speaker, but based in the US. She's been on Oprah. She's been speaking for, I don't know, 25 years or more. She's an incredible lady. And you'll see me here. She's sat right next to her. She's pointing at me and another coach, Sean Smith, amazing coach in America. Where we've on a coaching program. And on the top right, you'll see that I'm wearing this graduation outfit and that I've graduated from a coaching program with Lisa Nichols and Sean Smith this year. That was only in November. So really happy with that. So that's all to do with speaking and transformational facilitation. And then on the bottom right-hand corner, there's a picture of me practicing some Tai Chi, some martial arts. And here I've got a sword. So I do some sword forms and also self-defense and martial arts aspect training. On the bottom, middle or bottom of the screen, you'll see a picture of me with my son, Daniel, just enjoying some father-son time as well. I've got a daughter as well, and I'm happily married for well, it's been 23 years now. And then on the bottom left, you'll see a picture of me at one of the events that I ran in London, an in-person event on the subject of personal mastery and helping the people who attended to help them to get more present and also have more personal mastery in what they do in terms of their careers, in terms of their personal lives. So today's session really is, as I said, about reflecting on the year with purpose, 2023, the year that's almost about to end very shortly. And then round the corner, we have 2024, which ideally we'd like to set with intention. Often, a lot of people that you may know, friends, family, they set their intentions, for New Year, a New Year resolution that they make. The problem often is when setting these New Year resolutions, and you may have done those too, I certainly have, is that how often do they often fail at some point, right? You see a lot of gym memberships. They have their best time of year when they get lots of people through, enrolling, signing on, and then January, first few weeks, very busy, super busy, and then it tails off. Or it could be other resolutions that people have, right? That in order that they want to make a change, but that New Year resolution often tails off. Yeah. The fact that, you've been there, I'm sure. So today, really, I wanted to give as well, really, my intention for today for you is to give you the best start that you can have in 2024. And that's looking backwards into the year that's gone and into the future and to do it intentionally. And my sense really is that, well, when's the best time to start something new if you want to make a change? It's always going to be now, right? But it's now with an intention and to build that momentum as you go along. So then after we'll look back at 2023 and then we'll set some intentions for the new year. Doesn't mean that we'll 1st of January of 2024 that there's a resolution, but rather it's what is our overall intention? What's our direction that we want to go with? And then I'll share some of the strategies as well in terms of how we can elevate our personal mastery that will help you in the new year. And then some next steps that I'll share how you can take it further. And then an opportunity as well for some questions and answers towards the end. Sound good? Oh, that sounds like great. Brilliant. So we'll go into the year of 2023, which we're still in at the end of, but we're almost to the end. If you're ready, we are going to actually, before we go to there, I want to just say that during today, I'd like to ask that invite you to agree to 3 things for this time that we have together. One is that there are no judgment in this time that we have together. And by that, I mean judging of others, right? Who will share, maybe judging of me if you can. And also importantly, no judging of ourselves. Because often when we judge, we put ourselves down or we put other people down. And so I think it's important that I'd like to invite you to agree that there will be no judgment here, if you can. If you've agreed, then we can proceed. Then the second of those, hi Oliver, welcome. The second of our agreements today, aside from judgment, I like to agree that no judgment, I like to agree to no repercussions. So that whatever is shared here, right, or even what you shared privately to yourself, that there aren't any active repercussions that come back at you. Often sometimes you may have said something in sort of thinking it was private or thinking it was in confidence, and then only for it to come back and hit you in unexpected times. So I'd like to invite you to agree that whatever we share here, or maybe what you share with yourself here, there are no repercussions. If you agree to that, let's agree. We can move on. And the third of those agreements, great. And if you have your camera off, I'd like to invite you perhaps to turn it on if you can. It's always great to see your lovely faces. The third of those agreements I'd like to invite you to agree to is unconditional acceptance. And by that, I mean, even if I may be sharing whatever we share that is, in our vulnerable, when we're feeling vulnerable, when we're feeling, it's maybe not at our best or whatever, is to accept us for who we are. Accept us when we're great, accept us when we're maybe not as great, right? We are human after all. So I'd invite you to, if you want to agree that we can agree to unconditional acceptance. Yeah, great. So let's move on. So we're going to go into 2023, a year in review. I'd like you to take a deep breath, first of all. Okay, make sure you're sitting nice and comfortably. I'm actually standing up anyway. For you, if you're sitting comfortably, and I'd like you to, if you want to, you can close your eyes. I'd like you to take a deep breath in through the nose, and then breathe out through the mouth. Long, deep breath. Breathe in through the mouth, the nose, so air goes into your belly, and out. In and out. In and out. Okay. You open your eyes and breathe normally. Okay. Now we're going to review 2023. I'm not going to talk about all those things that you've seen in the news or anything like that. What I'm interested for you is your 2023. What made 2023 for you? We're going to go to the movies, all right? We're going to not any old movies, but a special movie. So I'd like maybe you can close your eyes, imagine that we're going to, well, you're going to your own see a movie. Maybe you're going to go and get some popcorn or any drink that you want. You're going to see a very special movie. You make your way into the auditorium, the cinema, and there's one person that is sat there. Someone who you've seen before, but you're not quite sure whom. So you walk closer, you'll sit next to this person. And then you notice that this person is actually you, but not the same person you are right now. This is the you who started 2023. And you look at each other, and then you look at the screen. You hear some sounds, maybe. You maybe hear, from the loudspeakers. You feel a comfortable seat. It's nice and dark. But then the movie starts to play. And that movie starts from New Year's Day, 2023. And there's positivity maybe you're feeling. You're seeing your life play out in January. Maybe you're going to work. Maybe there's something happening in your family, some family events. It's still cold. It's still winter. You get yourself through January. And then gradually it leads on to springtime. You hear the birds singing, maybe seeing a bit more of the sun. The air maybe smells different, smells fresh. The leaves in the trees start to bud and open. Maybe, think of what you were doing at work, maybe, or family. Maybe some experience that you had during that time. And your movie keeps playing. Spring gives way to summer. Things are in full flow. It's bright outside. The days are longer. The sun is at its peak. You feel the warmth of the sun. You're working, maybe you're doing what you do. Maybe you go on a holiday. Maybe there are important projects that you were doing. Maybe you spoke to some people. Maybe you met someone. The summer passes, and then we come to the autumn. The leaves start changing color. Beautiful yellows or reds. They start dropping off the trees. The air becomes noticeably a bit colder, a bit wetter too. And you're doing some things. Maybe if you've got kids, the kids are going back to school. You were coming back to work after a summer break. And then we come to winter. It's cold. It's getting dark. The days get shorter. Maybe you think of Christmas, all these things that need to be done. And then you look at the person you sat next to you. and it's just you right now. So you've been watching the movie. The movie screen closes, the curtains close, the light comes back on. And then you rub your eyes and you're back in the room again. You're here. You've just gone to see a movie. So I'd like to ask you a question to think about what you've just seen. In that year of 2023, your own movie, what went well for you? What particular events, maybe, people, projects you achieved, maybe certain achievements, maybe you learned something about yourself. What went well for you? Okay. You can write it down, make a note of it. What went well for you? In that movie you saw next, what was challenging for you? There may be certain times when maybe you struggled, something that was a block for you. It could be other people, it could be yourself, it could be just circumstances. Things just didn't turn out the way you wanted them. They were challenging. Next, what did you learn about yourself in 2023? From that New Year's Day of 2023 through to right now, 14th of December, 2023. What did you learn about yourself? Could be that you were good at something, some particular skill. Maybe you learned to be more patient or caring, more communicative. And here's another question for you. If you could reshoot that movie you just saw, your movie of the year, to be better for you, what's one change that you would make? What's one change you could make to make it an even better movie for yourself? Okay. Okay, good. Let's move on. I know I'm maybe moving a little quick with this. So I'd like to ask you, and please feel free to speak up and share. How is this for you? And I should say, what would you like to share? Not who would you like to share. What would you like to share? So I think by sharing, we can all learn and benefit from experience. Plus, when we verbalize, we speak something, we also end up also hear it ourselves. So how was this exercise for you? What would you like to share?
I can start.
Please, Yasna. Yes.
That was really nice, because I already did this like a couple of days ago. I was just reflecting, like, I already like this workshop really came at the right time. And it was not difficult. It was just like it's really nice and make me celebrate some things, good and bad, happening this year.
Yes.
Yeah,
Great.
this is just general. I could talk more, but just like I would like that also
Yeah.
others say something. That was
Yeah.
very nice exercise.
Wonderful. Thank you for the feedback there, Yasna. I'm glad you enjoyed it too, and that you got something from that. Yeah, and the chance to celebrate your successes. Brilliant. Who else would like to share? How was this? How is it? How is it? How it was for you?
Well, sorry for coming too late, so I had to work, so like yeah,
That's fine.
understood.
No problem, Oliver.
The year 2023 was interesting. You know me a bit right now after some months. I reflect all the time, all the
Yes,
time.
yes.
So 2023 was interesting. New connections, new opportunities, new jobs, new options you
Mm,
have to handle.
mm.
New stuff to learn, new
Yeah,
people. So a lot happens this year, and I'm happy this all happens this year, so I can push forward in 2024. So, well,
brilliant.
especially your webinars. We had the chat last week, so you had some topics over the year. Well, it was interesting.
Yes, thank you, Oliver. You've been there from the start, so I appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah.
So,
And indeed,
my
we
turn.
we sort of got to know each other a bit more too, so that's something certainly to, well, I would say certainly something to celebrate, at least for me. Thank you. Right, let's move on. Thank you for sharing that. So then we're going to come to setting our intention. So we've just looked back at 2023. We watched only the movie at our own cinema with ourselves, and we're going to go into 2024. I hope you're excited, because I certainly am. And here goes. We're going to fly. Okay, we're going to take a flight. I'm going to be your pilot. You see me here strapped in. We're going to go into this big glider. Okay, I don't know if you've ever been on a glider, but anyway, it's basically a amazing sort of aircraft. So I'm strapped in. Hope you are too. And as well, before any flight takes place, of course, there's always going to be a safety briefing, right? So I'm going to say that if this feels uncomfortable at any time, then, well, I guess you got a parachute. I'm wearing one here too. And just put your hand up and say, look, I need to get off this flight. It is possible. And if that ever happens from this exercise in a way, it's just open your eyes or just that's fine. Just observe how you're feeling. Well, that's all perfectly fine as well. So we're going to take the flight, and I can see, the instruments right in front of me. I've got the airfield right in front of me. That red sort of line is basically a piece of is a woolen yarn. Basically, that's all it does. You will see it would change a bit its direction. Basically, it's stuck on the outside of the actual glass of the cockpit. It's basically an airflow indicator. So it indicates which direction we're moving in respect to the wind, etc. So very useful, very practical, extremely simple and brilliant. So if you're ready, we're going to take off. So brace it. So make sure you're strapped in properly. And we're going to take off and go forward into 2024. So we accelerated to 100 kilometers per hour within a space of 2.5 seconds. That's almost like being in a Ferrari or a Porsche, accelerate super fast. And then suddenly we get pushed back into our seat, and you can see the nose of our aircraft is heading straight up into the clouds. And you can see that direction indicator indicates we are flying forward. Okay. And if you look at the altimeter as well, we're definitely going up. We're gaining height. The cable that's been pulling us suddenly detaches with a bang, and we're up in the sky. We're definitely going forward, and we can see far. We can see, I would say, we're seeing far into the future. We're seeing perhaps into next year. If I look down, we see all these things that are happening below us. We see with our binoculars that we can look out and see ourselves going through the year. We go through January of 2024. It's still winter, still cold. You see yourself doing those things that you would normally do at that time of year. Maybe you're going back to work and you see yourself. What is it you're doing? What is it that you're going to do in that time? The season moves on to spring. There's a noticeable change in the leaves, they're starting to appear on the trees. What is it that you see yourself doing? in the spring of 2024. When you look down there, you see yourself. We fly further and we see yourself in the summer of 2024. What is it you're doing? What are you tackling? What are you achieving? Who is with you? What are those amazing experiences that you are having? And I can still hear the air flowing past the aircraft, or you move forward further into time, into 2024. It's autumn of 2024. What do you see yourself doing? What is it that you are achieving? What is it that you're succeeding in? What's taking up a lot of your time? What's taking up your energy? What's taking up your focus? And as we fly forward, it's winter. It's winter of 2024. Almost a year from where we left off. What is it that you are doing at that time? What is it you're achieving? Who's the person that you see there? That version of that person is you. But what do you see in them? And then when we look further towards the horizon beyond 2024, we see ourselves an amazing sight. What do we see? What do you see yourself there? What are you doing? What you're thinking? What are you succeeding at? And our flight is about to end, so we need to turn back, to come back to where we came from. We see the airfield back in sight, and we're coming into land. This plane that we were on. We just landed after a slightly bumpy ride, but we made it. Safe and intact. We've just taken our journey into the 2024 and beyond, and we came back. So how is your flight? How is your flight into 2024 and beyond? So you make some notes, some points as to how it was for you. And next, what were your key landmarks or key things you saw for you in 2024 and also beyond 2024? Okay. Okay, next. What were the key challenges you saw in 2024 and beyond 2024? So another question, how are you different at the end of 2024 compared to now? So how are you different at the end of 2024 compared to now, the end of 2023? Okay. And what have you learned about yourself from taking this flight into the future? What have you learned about yourself from taking this flight into the future? The next very important question. What can you start doing now for 2024? What can you start doing now for 2024? Okay. Again, I'd like to ask you, and please feel free to share. How is this for you? This exercise, this flight into the future, into 2024 and beyond. And what would you like to share? Up to you. Please feel free to speak up and share.
I can start again.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
I feel a little bit scary with all my plans I have for 2024. Because I didn't mention to you in 2023, I left my job in big pharma company and I decided, to just like switch completely, reinvent myself. It's mean for 2024, I have lots of plans. It will be like coaching certification. It will be also certification in some advanced studies. It will be lots of learning and development. And it sounds I'm very curious and I'm very excited about the whole process which is coming in the future. But somehow I'm very happy, and
Yes.
I'm so looking forward. I think I'm in a quite positive, let's say, intention, and I'm looking forward. But there is one little thing, when we were flying, which is always coming, some kind of doubt and fear of uncertainty.
Yes.
I have to admit, I have this thing.
Yeah.
But the whole process when I was going through was very positive and very, how to say, curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Yasa. And you said you felt it was a little scary, fearful.
It is because actually I'm scared of flight, to be honest. This is not, I don't know, it was a good example. I try to be, but maybe it's good because it keeps us aware of things,
Yeah.
and sometimes we should be a little bit careful about everything.
Yeah.
But also, I think that was one question which you asked. What did I learn about myself? I think I would love to really bit push myself out of my comfort zone because I think this is learning.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great lesson. Thank you for sharing that, Yasna. Yeah, amazing.
Okay.
And thank you for sharing that because I can sense that when you are sharing, you say it's scary, but you're not terrified scary.
No, no.
It could be scary as in on the roller coaster ride or something like scary
Exactly,
type of thing, right?
exactly.
Scary.
But
It's
anyway, I will do it. Anyway, I'll
yeah,
do it to say, okay, I tried. If I don't try, I'm not learning. And I'm
yeah.
not afraid of failure, just that you know. For me, I love
Excellent.
failures.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you
You're
for sharing.
welcome.
Yes. Who else would like to share?
Well, 2024. I have a lot red hot irons around me, so I think I'm good prepared for the next year. So the last year was not the best one. So 2023 was this preparation year, and as I said, I have a lot of red hot irons around me.
Yes. Yeah.
So I need more connections, maybe some mentors, one or two, to handle this all. But I hope I can handle all this stuff I prepared now.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
I'm not scared. I have this let's do this. Run away, run, start running and do and see what happens. So
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds great. Okay. Yeah. So those red hot irons you said,
mm,
those are around you, so you're still able to run with those irons.
yes, I
Yeah.
took it on, in a backpack and I hope I don't lose it.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that, Oliver. That sounds great. Yeah. Amazing. Claudia, would you like to share anything?
I am in a how to describe in a thought process. And when I think back, 23 was so compact. So going through it gave me the opportunity to unpack a little bit.
Yes.
And it is as if 2024 is as packed as 2023 went. And I think this process of thinking gives you the opportunity to unpack a little bit. I mean, as if in the in flying with you, we take the freedom to jump in a paraglide, but then jump back into the so
Yes.
you kind of well try to project a little bit to think, you know, and the process your fears, but also your optimism, also your hopes, also your strengths.
Mm. Yes. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Claudia. That's amazing. Yeah. It's no coincidence that I chose to take us all on a flight today. I know, Zoe, if you have anything you would like to share, I know your camera's off. If you want to share, then please feel free. Okay. If not, we'll move on. So I'd like to then move on then to share some strategies for personal mastery. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot that you could try. There's not everything would suit everyone. At the end of the day, it's seeing what works for you, like trying it out. But here's some ideas I thought, and I focus on two particular pillars that I particularly would like to share with you. So we come to say self-awareness, which I think was fundamental to any endeavor really to become more intentional and to help us in whatever we strive to do, right? Do projects, habits that we want to help for us, add to ourselves for ourselves, or indeed the way we go about things. So some ideas include, for example, time for reflection. And I put here compassionate reflection because not only just reflect and notice, but also to notice with compassion. And earlier on, invited you all to to agree to the idea of no judgment, and that by having no judgment, we are effectively more compassionate to ourselves. Yes, obviously, notice where maybe we may have made a mistake or we slipped a little bit, but to actually be forgiving and actually just accept what it is, but then that from that place of awareness to actually move on to what I call more intentional in terms of direction and next steps. So making that time for compassionate reflection is very important. I know some of you do, maybe I know Oliver, you probably do a lot of that too yourself.
I
Yeah,
have one point.
please.
Judging can be also productive. So it's
Yeah.
not always negative. So if you have, I have around about 12 projects right now in my head,
Mm.
and I work on all 12. So this red hot irons. I
Yes, yes.
try to take off 12. So I had some discussions and talks and video calls. So I had some points from the other side. So, hey, you think really this works? So you should do. So you reflect around it again and again and rework and rework. So
Yes, yes.
I I think I reworked 2023 all 12 projects 3, 4 times. So every time I judging a positive judging. So okay,
Yes, yeah,
maybe
yeah,
I should
yeah,
put down this and
yeah.
recreate and rewrite and whatever.
Yes, yeah. That's important. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think a lot of the time, I guess you could say it depends on your definition of judgment. I mean, sometimes judgment is often perceived or interpreted as being a very negative thing, but a judgment can be discerning, I suppose. Or another word I could use maybe discerning, like to discern, not to sort of say, almost to decide whether something needs it can do with more improvement or not, or needs a change. So there's maybe that. It just depends, yeah, maybe on the way that the word is used. But you've seemed to have reflected on that, Oliver, in terms of the use of the word, or at least the need for some good judgment, let's say. Put it that way. Yeah. Okay. So then as well, I would another idea would be journaling, and that can be not just doesn't have to be written even. It could even be in video form or audio. It doesn't mean just by say writing something down or recording it that anyone else needs to see it. It sometimes may be good to actually just see it yourself, right? To read through what you've written, or at least to just express it out that you know it helps with processing uh, your awareness. That could be an important thing. And then sharing reflections, maybe with a trusted peer or a friend or even a coach. Someone who is impartial can obviously be of help, because just by expressing them, it takes it from within to outside, and other people can see it or receive it in a certain way different from yourself, and that's can be quite important. I also, the last point here is about asking for, I'd say, qualified and not expert feedback. I say qualified in terms of when you ask for feedback, you ask somebody who's maybe had the experience of knowing you, maybe recently, if you want more recent feedback, rather than ask an expert, because an expert, they may be experts in their area, whatever it is, but if they don't really know you, they can't really give you feedback that is personal to you or even relevant to you. So I think it's important, rather than asking expert feedback, is rather to seek qualified feedback, and obviously as well, feedback that is, I said, not so positive, but more like it's intended to help you. It's constructive feedback, I think, is what is important. Okay. Another set of strategies relating to purpose is having a sense of our direction in our life and sense of meaning. And I encourage you, maybe it's an idea to ask yourself, how can I be more intentional in what I do? Right? Whatever it is that you do, your work, maybe the way that you are with your family members, your loved ones, the things you do on a weekly basis, whatever it is, how can I be more intentional? So I think by being more intentional, we become very present to what we do. And it helps us as well to get more out of what we do. If you're not intentional, it almost is a bit like being quite mindless in what we do, right? Second point here, second suggestion is try one small way of giving meaning to what you do instead of looking for a big meaning or purpose. And I say, when often sometimes people, where they think, oh, I want to find my own purpose, meaning, the big meaning to my life, and everything. That's a huge, big thing. And some people may not even find it, and that's fine. But it's maybe more feasible to sort of start by looking, well, how can I make what I do meaningful? If I try one small way of giving meaning to what I do, for example, I could say, well, there's there's in the town where I live, there's a lady who sells this magazine. It's called The Big Issue. It's basically a way to help people from disadvantaged situations, economic situations, be able to make a living, maybe modest living, but at least it's a way of not just a handout, but it's more of a hand up to help them become more self-sufficient. So I like to do, for example, is sometimes I go for my walk down to the town and I see the lady there and I give her some money and I buy a magazine and I give her extra in there, and that's a way of just helping somebody. a way of helping somebody in a small way could also be a way of giving meaning. Third suggestion here is get some support from a coach who can help you explore maybe to meaning or purpose in what you do. Equally, it could be someone that you'd you trust, someone who can give you some qualified feedback in some way. And the fourth point here is about identifying what your key values, those things that you attach a lot of importance to, and then set your intention is to express them every day. So a value could be, for example, for me, it's one of my values is integrity. Doesn't mean I'm perfect at all. No, integrity is a key value of mine. So how can I express my integrity in through what I do? For example, if I'm giving this particular workshop today, I've asked myself, well, how can I put my integrity into what I do? If I'm, for example, here to try and deceive, or I'm trying to, be clever in some way, and using clever words, whatever, that may not be serving my value of integrity. So you might have different values. I'm sure you'd have different values. So it's thinking about what are your key values, choose one maybe, and then set the intention, well, how can I make this more evident in what I do? So some people, maybe it could be love, right? How can I make love more of something I can express in what I do, right? So it's something to think about. So these are some strategies for purpose, making more sense of purpose in what you do, in the way you live your life, in the way you work, in the way that you are with people around you, your loved ones, family, how are you as a partner, whatever it could be. So then the question is, what now? Okay, we've looked back at 2023. We played that movie back about how that was for us. We even sort of thought, well, how could we make that better for ourselves? And then we'd taken a flight into 2024 and beyond. And then we come back. We've seen all those amazing things that we're gonna be doing, right? Each of you are gonna be doing. Maybe some of those challenging things as well that we're gonna come across in 2024. And here we are. So the question is, what now? So here's a question as well in follow-up to that. What do you commit to do as a result of the learning today? What are you going to do today? Doesn't mean what am I going to do for you? It's what you're going to do for yourself. What you're going to commit to do as a result of the learning today. And by commitment, I mean, was it the promise that you would to yourself, right? It could be the sort of thing that when you look at the mirror in the morning, to say, I'm going to do this for you. Meaning you're going to do it for me. I'm going to do it for me. So what do you commit to do as a result of learning today? Okay. Maybe anyone would like to share what they will commit to do? One thing, if you're comfortable sharing that, is what do you commit to do as a result of the learnings that we've come across today?
Just one word.
Yep.
For me, just persevere, through
Persevere.
everything.
Great. I love that. Simple, and very powerful too. Persevere. I love that. Thank you, Yasna. Anyone else would like to share? Claudio, have you got something?
Well, again, it is so thought-provoking, particularly because probably my work, so to say, is different from everyone else here. And it is connected with somehow promoting life and values that go beyond in a very complex world where, well, one of the feelings that comes is the fact that the world is so complex, we are so complex, but somehow the set of values I profess, they are about life. So it is a tremendous exercise of self-demand in terms of, well, asking how can the world be a little bit better as we get into 2024. At times it's frustrating, but particularly when you, for example, offer here as a strategy for self-awareness, time for compassionate reflection. Sometimes we are too hard and too demanding on ourselves, and there are things we will be able to do and to achieve, and others no, and we probably should be able to accept whatever it will be without giving up. I mean, still keeping the purpose, because we know that we are up what we see and want and work for is worth doing.
Yes, yes. There's a lot to unpack, even just what you just said there. Thank you for sharing. Good, let's move on. So I'd like to just share that one way could be to really embed what you have in store for 2024 is always to work with me in a one-to-one personal mastery coach. What I do is use my martial arts training to coach executives and leaders to regain a sense of control and find purpose in what they do. In fact, I am thankful for the training I've had so that I could give you what I've taken you through today, right, in those of some of those exercises. And I think it's personally, I think it's very, very powerful. Maybe you do too. And so what I offer is personalized one-on-one coaching sessions over a 6-month period. And also I would provide coaching on tap, so coaching support on tap between sessions via WhatsApp or email. And also, in order to get started with working with me, we would have a strategy call with no obligations, basically to explore what your individual needs are and really find out if simply my coaching is the right fit for you, right? And what I also want to do as well is also offer or give you a description of the coaching package in more detail, and also the fees, the investment fees for my coaching packages. And they will be provided before each strategy call, so that you come into the call and we explore, but you also know what it entails. And then we'll have the call to sort of establish whether it's a right fit for you or not. And it's just to explore what is it you need, and see how whether the coaching I provide can be of support to you. Okay. So that's really how my coaching would work, if you're interested. Some testimonials I'd like to share. So Simona is a lady I've worked with, and it's just a snippet of some of the feedback she gave. And I highlighted here in yellow, the sessions with Jung changed me every time. They were transformational and consciousness raising experiences at the highest level. And this is a lady who had experience of transformational coaching in the past. And so, she had some previous background experience, let's say, of coaching. So, and she actually even writes as well that she felt with me that he was not just a good coach, but a person who could change your life. And that's very powerful coming from somebody who had some experience of coaching. So thank you to Simona. We have Oliver, who's on the call. Thank you for giving your feedback, and I'm surprised you here. And a snippet of some of his, his feedback. But at the end, he says, "For me, I can only recommend Jung and also his work. He has everything a great coach needs." Thanks, Jung. Thank you, Oliver. It's it's surprising I'm reading this out, but it's thank you very much for that. And another person I worked with is Renee. She is an executive director in the pharmaceutical industry. And she wrote some things. She said I was like the yin to her yang, in terms of when we work together, we play along and challenge it as well, but also work very well together to come to a very positive outcome. and she finished in her testimonial saying that my time with Jung is both fulfilling and productive. And I feel very fortunate to have received Jung's natural way of being and enlightenment, a true gift. Feels me I just feel amazed at reading this out. But this is testimonials that are on my LinkedIn profile and also on my website. So I come then to some time for some questions and answers. We've got maybe a minute or so. Are there any questions that you might have in terms of what we've been through today, what you've learned? Anything that you'd want to share today?
I have not so much questions. Sorry, it's again me. This is my tension, I have to say.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes.
guys. I have not so much question. Like I thought I'm really curious, and I think probably answers or comments and feedback for you. It was really beautiful to reflect, in 2023 with you and also look for the 2024. I think it's nice to also talk about this because somehow you're just like I'm making myself accountable also for the future to come, and I'm sharing with you that you can also make me accountable for this.
Yes.
And yeah, it is really nice. I'm really super excited, and thank you for this 1 hour of sharing and being with me and also with other people and sharing these things because it's very also empowering as well and giving me some kind of positive energy for the next year.
Mm.
And like I said, I was really celebrating some things from this year, which they were good or not, but I think they were very good experience, which also helped me for my self-reflection and self-awareness.
Yes. Great. Thank you for those words there, and I appreciate you for sharing that. And yeah, it's certainly cause for celebration. I think the fact that you played along with the exercises here, and I think you got something great out of it that you can take forward. I think perhaps traditionally a lot of people are frantic at this time of year. It's Christmas or whatever they're preparing for, and or family obligations, and it's the end of the year, or maybe deadlines to meet. And I think it's great to have set ourselves some time just to pause, reflect, look back, and then look forward and move forward. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Thank you, Yasna, for that. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. So, yeah, Oliver, you wanted to say something?
One sentence or maybe two or three. um, I would say one point you said, talk with friends or mentees or mentors or whatever. I think, and I realized talking with strangers is sometimes more effective. You don't have to talk for your project secrets or something else, but only talk with strangers. They are open to you. They listen to you, and they don't judge you for knowing you. So all the people around you, you ask or speak with, they know you. It's mostly not the perfect position to ask something. So what you think? So they will answer what you want to hear.
Right. Yes.
So that's the point I want add to your point of your sheet.
Thank you.
And the other thing is, after this year with your webinars, I have 3 points. Be brave. Don't listen to others. Go your way. And take a deep breath and do it.
Yes, absolutely. Sounds a good one. Thank you. That's a few sentences, but the very valuable sentences, Oliver. Thank you. Okay. Great. So we come to the end. So really basically my call to action for you is make the most of now and prepare for 2024 and beyond. Very simple. That's all. So I'd like to say thank you. And you know how to reach me. Any questions that you have, any reflections that you may have as well for that you want to explore further, please do get in touch with me. I'll be very happy to spend some time with you and talk those through. So thank you very much, and I wish you all, for those of you who celebrate Christmas, have a great Christmas. Some of you may see me very soon. So take care.